I have strong feelings about Gino's family setting up Jasmine and Gino to meet each other on 90 Day Fiancé. We already knew that Jasmine Pineda and Gino Palazzolo were one of the most recent 90 Day Fiancé couples to break up after getting married, but that hasn't stopped it from being some of the most interesting drama in Happily Ever After. Season 9. That trend continued in the most recent episode, when Jasmine eventually met Gino's girlfriend Natalie. But I can't help but wonder how it went down. Gino asked Natalie to come to Michigan for his cousin's birthday celebration weeks after he told his soon-to-be ex-wife he wanted a divorce. I know that might be the dumbest way to show how pleasant it is to live in the Midwest, but what made me shake my head was that his family invited Jasmine, which turned into a furious occasion. It should have been clear to Natalie that she was walking into a trap after hearing Gino's cousin ask them a bunch of crazy questions. It should have been even more obvious when Jasmine started yelling at Natalie the moment she went in. She called her a whore and a stripper, and the two women got into a fight right away. Natalie finally left the house, and Jasmine kept yelling whore as she did. Jasmine said in her confession that she didn't know she would act that way, but I find that very hard to believe. Fans of 90 Day Fiancé knew this would happen because Jasmine has a long history of making a scene when things become tense, especially when the cameras are on. She has had knockdown fights with Gino, threatened Natalie Mordovtseva, and even fought Rob Warren when she was pregnant. That last argument happened after the one with Gino's girlfriend was filmed, but I think everyone, even Gino's family, knew how it was going to go. Breakups are hard, and I know that there are moments when everyone needs to act like an adult and be there for the greater good. This wasn't one of those occasions, though. Jasmine and Gino are getting a divorce. He kicked her out of their home months ago because she was dating Matt Branisterianu, and he just brought his new girlfriend to meet the family for the first time. I'd be amazed if anyone thought that inviting them both would go off without a hitch. So, I have to think that 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, set up this whole sequence on purpose to be funny. In a logical universe, either Jasmine would have chosen not to go, or Gino would have chosen not to go. In the end, we're just talking about a random birthday meal for an adult cousin. I don't want to sound too self-centered, but I can't remember the last time I went to a birthday party for one of my cousins. But Gino Palazzolo cautiously walked back and forth in his backyard while the summer sun shone brightly over Michigan. The huge family reunion was today. It was the first time his whole extended family would meet his fiancée, Jasmine Pineda, since she moved from Panama. His relatives were already playing cornhole on the lawn, and the grill was sizzling. The tables were covered in red, white, and blue tablecloths. "Stop worrying, Gino," Jasmine called from inside the home while she was fixing her dress in the mirror. "I'll be great." But Jasmine didn't really know how to be perfect. She was quite passionate, and although she loved Gino very much, she wasn't hesitant to say what she thought, even when it was the worst time. When the family started to show up, Gino presented her to his parents, uncles, cousins, and even some of his childhood friends. Things went well at first. Jasmine told his mom stories about Panama and even helped serve the potato salad. But then Gino's cousin Carla came around. She was a frank woman who was proud of telling it like it is. "So, you're the one who finally got Gino to quit his job and move to Panama?" Carla remarked, raising an eyebrow. Jasmine grinned with her mouth closed. "No, I didn't persuade him. As a pair, we made a choice." Carla went on, "I just hope you're not using him for a visa or his money. He has had enough." Gino stopped eating his hot dog and looked back and forth between them. "Carla," he began, but Jasmine was already getting angry. "Excuse me? Using him? Do you really think I gave up everything I had to take from him? Gino is my favorite. And, to be honest, I've helped him more than he's helped me when it comes to money." The backyard was quiet. Someone turned the music down. Gino's dad acted like he was checking the burgers on the grill. Carla crossed her arms. "I'm just saying, I've seen people get hurt before." "And I'm just saying," Jasmine shouted back, "you don't know me, so maybe you should stop judging me based on what Gino's exes or TV gossip said." Gino rushed in at this time to attempt to calm things down. Fine, let's not do this here. This is meant to be a pleasant day." But Jasmine's pride wouldn't let it go. "No, Gino, I want them to get it. I'm not perfect, but I am honest. I'm here because I love you, and anyone who can't accept that doesn't deserve to be happy with us." Some family members nodded in agreement. Others looked at each other in an uneasy way. Gino's mom stepped up and put a light hand on Jasmine's shoulder. "Welcome to the family, sweetheart. We could be a touch rude, but we care about Gino and you today." The tension went down a little, but Carla still said something under her breath. Jasmine chose to leave and help in the kitchen, leaving Gino to talk things over with his cousin. A couple rounds of lawn games and a surprisingly competitive limbo contest made the mood lighter by the end of the night. But the event stayed in everyone's minds, especially Gino's. He knew it wouldn't be easy to mix their worlds, but he thought that if Jasmine could get through this family reunion, she could get through anything. And as they walked out of the party holding hands, Jasmine remarked with a smile, "My rules. We're having the reunion in Panama next year." But it was quite hot outside in Panama City, but inside Jasmine Pineda's flat, the air felt like a hurricane was about to hit. Gino Palazzolo sat on the couch, nervously touching his baseball cap. Jasmine stood by the window with her arms crossed and her eyes narrowing like a lioness poised to pounce. "You think you can just keep things from me, Gino?" she snarled, her voice shaking with anger and pain. Gino had a hard time swallowing. "Jazz, it's not what you think." "Oh, really?" she said, stopping in her tracks and spinning around. "So, you didn't send my private photos to your ex? You didn't say I was like her?" Her hands were all over the place, stressing each phrase. Gino looked down at the floor. "It was a mistake. I wasn't thinking." Jasmine stomped forward, getting closer to him. "Did you make a mistake?" "No, Gino. It's a mistake to forget to buy milk. This is a betrayal." The room was so tense that it felt like you could cut it with a knife. But then, as it often did with them, the storm started to change. They ended up on the little balcony hours later, after banging doors, crying, and lengthy periods of silence. The city lights twinkled in the distance, and the night air was pleasant. When Jasmine gazed at Gino, her eyes softened. Her voice was just above a whisper when she said, "You make me crazy, you know that?" Gino smiled shyly and said, "I know. But I adore you, Jasmine, even when you're so upset that you want to toss my hat out the window." She smiled a little. "Don't tempt me." They both laughed for the first time that day. Even though nothing was really fixed, the fire between them, the same fire that led to so many fights, was also what kept bringing them back together. Their relationship was like a roller coaster. One minute it was sweet, the next it was full of drama. But it might have been the only way Jasmine and Gino knew how to love, with all their heart, loudly, and without holding back. And deep down, they both understood that the drama wasn't ended yet. But the sun was going down over the skyline of Panama City, and the seas were shining with gold. Jasmine Pineda was alone on the terrace of her little apartment, drinking chamomile tea. It had been weeks since she last fought with Gino Palazzolo. During those weeks, she had unanswered texts, long call messages that ended in tears, and the heavy stillness of pride. But tonight was different. After their extended hiatus, Gino eventually flew back to Panama. He stated he wanted to talk things over in person. Jasmine didn't know if she should be happy, scared, or angry. She had spent days going over all the happy memories they had shared, as well as all the painful things they had spoken that had caused them to grow apart. Her heart skipped a beat when the doorbell rang. Gino stood there with a sheepish look and a baseball cap pulled low. He had a tiny bunch of orchids in his palm. She had stated they reminded her of home. He whispered softly, "Hi, Jasmine." "Hi, Gino," she said, crossing her arms, but her eyes softened. They sat on the balcony together, and the lights of the city twinkled like stars. The talk began slowly. Gino said he had been stubborn, not listened enough, and let little fights build into walls between them. Jasmine then said that her anger had driven him away and that she had sometimes struggled more to be right than to be understood. Gino's voice broke a little as he replied, "I don't want to lose you, Jasmine. Even though we've had some rough patches, you're still the person I want to wake up next to every day for the rest of my life." Her eyes filled with tears. "I'm terrified, Gino. It feels like we're on a roller coaster every time we attempt. But I still care about you. And maybe love should get one more chance. They chatted for hours about the future, trust, and how to make their lives work together without letting their cultural differences or fears get in the way. At the end of the night, Jasmine reached across the table and held his hand. "Okay, Gino," she said softly. "Let's give it another shot. But this time, no more half measures. We work together to do this." It felt like the beginning chapter of a brand new narrative as they watched the moon rise over the sea. It was a story about optimism, patience, and the bravery to start afresh. But the air in the modest flat in Panama was thick with stress. Jasmine Pineda stood at the balcony with her arms crossed and her eyes burning. Gino Palazzolo sat stiffly on the couch, holding his baseball cap like it was his only lifeline. "Gino, I can't believe you." Jasmine's voice got louder and bounced off the walls. "You said you would be honest, but you keep things from me again." Gino gulped hard, and his Michigan accent came out more slowly than usual. "Jazz, I wasn't keeping anything from you. I just didn't believe it was important." She stepped closer and said, "Not important? Sending your ex my private pictures and texting her isn't a big deal?" This wasn't the first fight, and it wouldn't be the last. The cameras had already caught them arguing about money, Gino's clothes, and whether he was emotionally expressive enough. But this fight was different. It had that volcanic Jasmine energy that made those at home lean forward, knowing the explosion was coming. The argument got worse very soon. Jasmine started to walk back and forth, waving her hands in the air. "You are so lucky these cameras are here right now, because if they weren't..." She stopped and took a deep breath. Gino stood up to protect himself and fixed his hat. "Jazz, I said I was sorry 100 times. What else do you want me to do?" she said, her voice breaking with anger. "I want you to stop lying. Every time I start to trust you, you do something dumb that ruins it." Later, the scene changed to a quiet interview part where Jasmine was crying and her eyeliner was smudged. She told the camera, "Sometimes I wonder if love is enough. Love is more than just passion, trust, and respect. And I'm not sure we have all of them." But the drama didn't stop there. Just a few days later, during a dinner date designed to make peace, a new fight broke out. This time, it was because Gino didn't want to help pay for Jasmine's forthcoming cosmetic surgery. She snapped, "You have no problem spending money on silly hats, but when it comes to making me happy, you're suddenly broke." Gino tossed a serviette down. "Jasmine, I'm not your bank." The battle got so bad that other customers stopped eating to watch, and the producer had to come in to settle them down. People on social media later called it the restaurant blow-up and shared the video of Jasmine leaving, muttering in Spanish about men who don't appreciate their queens. By the end of the season, Jasmine and Gino's heated arguments had become famous. People either loved or hated their violent battles, which kept people watching to see whether they would ever really find peace or if their relationship was going to be one long reality TV ride. Hey there, lovely viewers. Thank you for coming to my channel. Hey, I'm Amelia. I hope your day is going well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you appreciate the video.